She know what she's doing, child. I don't know.
Good afternoon,
Don't she look
everyone.
good?
To the parents that are here and to the faculty and the staff, administrators, and other people. I don't know if this
Yeah.
will work. I probably need to stand up here. Is that better? That's better, I think. So I thank you all for having me here today. So let me just open up with a quick word of prayer. I know that you're eating and I know that we prayed over the food, but let me have a quick word of prayer before we get started. Our Father and our God, we thank you right now for allowing us the opportunity to come together. Lord, we thank you for these parents, these administrators, the faculty, and the staff that are gathered here for this conference on today. Lord, I pray that the words that I say on today will be something that will encourage these your people as they go about their lives. Lord, we love you and we thank you. We give you all glory, all honor, and all praise. It is in the mighty name of Jesus that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So we're going to get started today on the keys to greater expectations. And so I have a slide presentation, and Alexia, who I've known for many, many years, she and her mother are going to guide us through, even though she's trying to eat. I just need you to guide me through.
I do. Go. Okay.
Okay, so for the first slide, hashtag I got influence. So you see my shirt, I got influence, and this is something that God gave to me many years ago. I was at a revival at my former church, and the pastor said each night at the end of revival to bring someone with you, you have influence. He said everyone in here has influence. So a few years later, some things happened, and I just heard God say to me, you got influence. And so as I began to ponder on that, I asked the question, what is influence? Where everyone in this room has influence. We have influence where we can encourage people to do something good, bad, through our actions, through our deeds, through our thoughts. We can encourage others. We can influence others. I had someone to say to me one time, well, why do you say I got influence and not I have influence? That sounds more grammatically correct. Well, I got influence because God is the past tense of get. So when you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to get it. But once you get it, you got it. So I got influence. You all got influence. So we can encourage people. We can talk to people. So that's where we are today. So as we talk about greater expectations, we're going forward with that thought because we got influence. And so we can have greater expectations. So what is an expectation? An expectation is a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. So as we go along, we say about our children, I know my child will be successful. I know my child is not going to get in trouble. I know my child will make AB honor roll. I know my child is a future doctor, engineer, whatever it is, because we have expectations for our children. We also have expectations for ourselves. It's a strong sense. If we didn't believe it with every bone in our body, if we didn't believe it with every fiber within us, it would not be an expectation. It would be a fleeting thought. But we have expectations of what we want to happen. And so for me, an expectation is equivalent to faith. So I know that there may be some people in here like, is she going to preach to us today? She's not. She's just going to talk today. But even with you talking, that still has nothing to do with the fact that I love the Lord and that I have faith in Him. And there's some things that I have done in my life only because of Him. There's some things in my life that I expect to do in my life because of Him. And even with the things that I have done that He's allowed me to do, I yet have greater expectation of the things to come. So whether you say expectation or you say faith, it's all the same. You have to have a strong sense that it will be in order for it to happen. If you don't believe it in your mind, if you don't believe it in your heart, if you don't believe it, you can never expect anyone else to believe it for you. So I want to give you a quick example of a greater expectation. So there was this lady, and the lady was a lady of influence. And there was a man that she encountered on a very regular basis. Whenever the man came near her or came towards she and her husband, they always provided food and they provided shelter for him when he was in their area. Well, after doing so, the man eventually said to her one time, he said to her servant, what is it? Or said to his assistant rather, what is it that the woman is in need of? He said, I don't know. Let's ask her. So this woman of influence said that she wasn't in need of anything. So then this great man said to her, you know what? in a year you're going to have a baby. You're going to have a son. And she was like, oh no, I'm good, just the way things are with me and my husband. He said, no, you and your husband, you're going to have a baby in a year. So as things would happen, a year later, she ended up having a baby. As the child grew, I'm sure she was excited, as any parent would be, watching him grow, learn to walk and talk and all of those things. One day, the child was out in the field with his father working, and the child got a great headache. And so he said to his father, I don't feel well. And the father told one of the assistants in the field to take the child back to his mother. When the child went back to the mother put the child in her lap, and she cuddled him and she held him, hoping he would feel better. Well, the child ended up dying in her arms. When the child ended up dying in her arms, she didn't grieve at that moment. She got up, she called her husband and said, I need an assistant to go with me. So she got the assistant and she left, and she went looking for the man who told her that she was going to have this baby. When she found the man told his assistant, go and see if everything is okay with her. Ask her about her home, ask her about her husband, ask her about her child. When the assistant asked her about all of these things, she said, all is well. But then she told the man, my child is at home dead, and I need you to come and fix this. Because my expectation was that I was going to have this child, and I was going to see him grow, and I was going to see him have children, and I was going to be this grandmother. So I need you to come fix this situation. This man told his assistant, you go back and see about the child. When that failed and the child did not come back from death, then the man who initially said that she would have a baby went back to the home. So after he prayed and then went into the room and did a series of things, the child came back to life. So now you probably are thinking, where did she get this from? Where did she make this up from? The Bible. If you read the Bible, if you read 2 Kings chapter 4, then you'll read about the Shunammite woman. And that's who it was. She had expectation of nothing when she was providing things to this great man Elisha that came to the house. But once he told her that she was going to have a child, she then had greater expectations of the things that would come to her. And that's how our expectations in our faith work. We probably think at a minimum it will be this way. But once we begin to see things materialize, then our minds start to wonder. Because if I apply for this job, then I won't have to work that job. But hey, if I stay on that job long enough, I can get me a new car. I can get a new house. I can move into a house. I can do some things that I've not been able to do. So expectations are great, but today we're talking about greater expectations. So one of my most favorite Bible scriptures is Ephesians 3:20. And this is from the Amplified Version. And this scripture says, now to him who is able to carry out his purpose. So it's talking about the Lord. Do super abundantly. So super abundantly, anytime you think about something that's super, it's greater, it's bigger, it's larger. So super abundantly, more than all that we dare, ask, or think, which means infinitely beyond our greatest prayers, hopes, or dreams. So sometimes we get a little afraid when we're praying or we're asking people or we're trying to do things because we think that may be too much. It may be a burden. If you're a believer in Jesus Christ, there is no burden when we go in prayer. The burden is only on us when we don't communicate to him what it is that we desire or that we want. And then according to his power that is at work within us. So as he begins to work within us, he meaning God, begins to work within us, and we go and we ask him for things, he will make some things happen. Now, be forewarned that in making some of these things happen and some of these greater expectations, we are going to lose some people. We're going to lose some people that don't need to be attached to us. We're going to be no longer in some situations that we thought were okay. We're going to find ourselves in a place where he's working on us and he's working through us to give us our heart's desires. So, core, bidding, lock, oh my. One of the things, my area that I work in on my job is called facilities management. And in that area is maintenance, renovations, all of these things that take place. So we're instituting a new system now with our key management program. So I've learned some things about core, bidding, locks, and keys. So today I'm going to talk about keys, but I just wanted to give you a little background on a few things. If you look at your key, your house key, your apartment key, your building key, your office key, you'll see these little grooves on the side of the key. Those are the fittings. That's the combination for every key that will get you connected to every core and every lock. When we stick our key in a door, we're not sticking it in and just to the lock, we're going into the core. And the core, if anything, is the very heart of the matter. It's the very center of it. So if your key does not have the right grooves on it, does not have the right bitting on it, you can stick it in the door, but you'll never make it to the core, and you'll never be able to pop the lock to be able to go in the door. So in life, we have to make sure that we have the right keys for everything that we're doing. Because my house key, hopefully, won't fit your house key, because if it does, we got a problem. But in life, our keys are not going to fit what everyone else is doing. So we have our own keys to our own cores that are going to pop our own locks in our lives. So we have 7 keys to greater expectations. 7 keys. So we'll go through these quickly and then I'll be out of your hair. The first key, because we're talking about greater expectation, starts with G. And the G is get in position. So first thing, we have to get in position. I know sometimes with greater expectations, I want to go back to school, I want to get this job, I want to do these things, but we have to get in position. I cannot expect to get a new job if I don't put in applications. I cannot expect to go to school and finish a degree if I don't ask for readmission to the college or the university. I cannot do anything if I don't get in position. Getting in position is more than saying I'm going to be a business owner. I have to get in position by getting my business plan together. I have to line some things up. Yes, there are many things we cannot do until the money is available, but if we wait until the money is available, we're already late. So we have to start. The minute the thought comes within us that what we want to do, we have to get in position. We have to begin the planning process. Because once you do your plan and the money comes into place, you still have to have a plan. You still have to have a plan so that you can see till the end whatever it is that you're attempting to do. After the G, the next thing we have to do is an R. And the R is reflect on your past. Now, I said reflect on your past. I didn't say revert to your past. I didn't say go back. I said reflect on your past. Because many times we will find that when we're in our period of greater expectation, we have to look back and see, where did I go wrong? Where did I go left when I should have gone right? Where did I leave off and now I have to pick up? What is it that I need to do? What were those mistakes? And yes, we've all made mistakes. What are those mistakes that I made then that have hindered me and have caused me to be where I am now, which is now where I want to be? So we have to reflect on our past to make sure that we don't make those mistakes again. We have to look on our past and see, is there something that I was supposed to be doing and I didn't quite finish, therefore I need to go back and pick that up. We reflect on our past because when we think about our children and our children come home and they're misbehaving at school, they're misbehaving at home and all of those things. Don't be, well, you know, whatever, how you run your household. But we have to reflect on our past because maybe that was you. Maybe that was you and the things that you put your parents through. So, you know, we have to understand, we have to look from whence we came in order to understand where our children are from. Because our children come from, they're made up from our DNA. So what's within us has transmitted to some of them. So we have to reflect on our past. Then the next thing we have to do in our keys is E, and that is express your desires. See, sometimes we don't have expectations of anything, and sometimes we're in a place where we say, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, I don't want anything else. Because we're afraid to express our desires. Because if I express my desires to you, then you may laugh at me, so I'm not going to tell you, and you may think it's silly, but it's really what I want to do, but I'm not going to do it. So when we express our ideas, or express our desires, it's not always just talking. Get a journal and write it out. If you have a cell phone and you have the Notes app or any type app on your phone, put it on there. It's only silly if you think it's silly. But if it's something that you really believe, that thing that you wanted to do when you were 8 years old and now you're 28 years old and it's still burning because it's in your core. If it's in your core, then you need to activate the key to unlock that and do that. And listen, no situation, no thing that you want to do, if it's still burning you, still within you, there's no thing you can't do. You just got to put some elbow grease in. You got to put your feet in action. You got to make some things happen. And when you start making steps, Rome was not built in a day. So it may take you some time, but take some steps towards it. Don't look 5 years later and say what you would have, should have, could have done. Take a few steps a little bit at a time. And eventually, if you have the determination, if you have the willpower, you will get there if that's where you truly are trying to be. Then the next letter is A. And that is alienate the enemy. We have some people connected to us. We have some dream killers. We roll over and look at them. We fix their lunch. We go out to lunch. We go out to dinner with them. We talk to them on the phone 2,700 times a day. We do all of that, and they're dream killers. They do nothing to encourage, but they give you every excuse why you can't. They say to you, well, you can't do that because you have small children at home. My mother is here today. My mother, I saw this example from her. She went to school. She worked all my life as a nurse. She went to school, was always going back to school. And when she had children in high school, she still went back to school, worked full-time, had 4 children at home in high school, and still found time to work on a master's degree in nursing. So I know that there are excuses out there. But we can put our minds together to do whatever it is that we want to do. It just takes a little bit of effort. Yeah, you may like going to bed at 8 o'clock at night, but you may have to stay up until 10 to get some homework done. You may want to enjoy your evenings just going home and doing nothing. Those may be the evenings that you go to some classes. You may not like to talk to that person because she has an attitude or he has an attitude, but you might have to swallow your pride just to talk to them because it may not be what you think, and they may be the one that's holding the key to unlock the core and the lock to what it is that you're trying to do next. But when we alienate the enemy, that is blocking out, and we already know who they are. It's not like we have to be surprised that, oh my God, I can't believe it. No, we know. We know. And when we know who they are, don't be afraid to cut them off, because if I cut those 5 off, I won't have anybody. You'll have peace of mind. Your business will be in your house. You won't have to worry about people tearing you up or tearing you down, and you can make some things happen. So we have to alienate the enemy and get them away from us. And the enemy is not always the person walking around with the pitchfork and being mean. The enemy is anybody that is working against you. So all those slick disses and all of those little things that they're doing, that's the enemy, because they're trying to stop you from reaching whatever your purpose is in life. Then the next thing is a T. The next T is T, and is take the leap. So once you have gotten in position, once you've reflected on your past, expressed your desires, and alienated the enemy, now it's time for you to take your leap. Get out there. Get out the boat. Get out the boat. You know, when Peter was in the boat, he didn't want to get out because he was afraid. But then when Peter got out of the boat, he stood there on the water. And when Jesus told him to come unto him, Peter began to sink in the water. See, sometimes we think we'll stay in the boat and don't want to get out because we might sink in the water, but the boat might have a hole in the bottom and you can fall through in the boat too. So we have to get to the point where we take the leap. Get out there, we're going to do it. Everything is lined up. I'm gonna make this happen. Because think about it. Your child that you have at home, you have these great expectations for your child. And when they bring their report home, you want them to do their very best. You want them to be these productive members of society. And you're pushing and pushing and pushing them, but yet you're afraid to take the leap. You're afraid to do anything, but you want to push them. And then your child begins to say, well, Mama, why are you being so hard on me? I know I made a B, but that's the best I can do. And you're saying to them, but no, you're A material, and I know you should have made an A. You know what the problem is there? Parents are living vicariously through their children. And they're saying that I won't go out and do it for myself and get it for myself, yet I will live through my child and I will push you to do it, and then I'll feel better about myself. When the truth of the matter is, when we reach our goals, those things that we want to do, then it's a happy family and it's a happy life, because everybody is doing something that they're happy about. Your child is not doing it just to satisfy you. And you're not doing it just to satisfy them, but we're all doing it because individually that's what we want to do. So take the leap. Next is another E, and this time the key is encourage yourself. See, too often we look for other people to encourage us and to pat us on the back and tell us we're doing a great job, but we can encourage ourselves. And encouraging ourselves would be things like, I'm sleepy, I could go get in bed, but I know I need to finish this up. Well, I was working on that, I'll do it tomorrow, but let me keep doing it. We don't have to keep putting off for tomorrow what we can do today. And even if it's raining outside and it looks like things are falling apart, we can say to ourselves, I know that God did not bring me this far in this process to leave me right here. So I'm going to encourage myself. I'm going to keep moving because I can do this. When we pick up the phone and call other people and look for them to encourage us, what happens when they don't have time? They can't answer the phone. They don't have time to talk because they booed up right now and they don't have time for you. And then you're looking for somebody else to encourage you, but if you spend time encouraging yourself, then you will feel better. I can do this. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. So then the last key is an R, and it is reach for the sky. So we're talking about greater expectations. And in greater expectations, we want to jump and we want to do that thing that seems impossible. And even though it seems impossible to others, because I have the key that unlocks the core to this door, it's possible for me. Yeah, I may have hit some bumps in the road, but nevertheless, it is possible for me. So I'm going to reach for the sky. And when I meet that expectation, I'll just hit another and another and another. As long as I'm breathing, as long as I have life, as long as I'm going, I'll continue. I'll never settle for. When we get in a point, there's a difference between being content and settling. And sometimes we are content in a situation because this is all that can be done at this time, but we expect that things are going to get better. But when we get in a place and we settle, that's it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to worry about anything else. They have 20 jobs posted on the board. All of them can be promotions for me, but I'm not going to apply for any of them. There are some other things that I can do. I found out about some grant money and some other things, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to settle right here. But we need to look at these keys and these 7 keys to greater expectation. So those are the 7 keys. So those are the 7 keys to greater expectation. So let me encourage you all today. And even when you leave here, I know you have to go and pick up your kids, and Ms. Humbert spoke about that. You have to pick up your children today, and you get home, sit down and think about what is it that you want to do. You don't have a notebook, you don't have a journal, that's fine. Get a napkin. Get anything. Because if you're really determined to make something happen, you will make it happen. Don't get to a point in your life where you look back and you say what you could have done. There are people here to help you. I know all of these vendors are here. There are some connections in this room that are just waiting to be made. All you have to do is open up your mouth and say, hey, how did you get started? Thank you.